Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to decode the essential playbook for what is, let's be honest, one of the absolute toughest challenges any founder faces, building and scaling a winning team. We're going to cover who to hire, how to pay them, and what it really takes to drive top-tier performance in the wild world of startups.
All right, let's kick things off with this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. Moving from some corporate giant to a nimble startup, that's not just a job change. It is a total shift in pace, in mindset, and in what's asked of you every single day. You're basically trading in a marathon for a series of all-out sprints.
And you can really see that contrast laid out right here. On one hand, you've got the corporate marathon. It's all about structure, a steady pace, plenty of resources, and very defined roles. But then, on the other hand, you've got the startup sprint. Flat hierarchies, a crazy fast pace, you're always short on resources, and your role? Well, your role is whatever needs to get done that day. You're wearing a ton of different hats.
Okay, so you've made it. You've survived those early sprints. You've actually built a product that people genuinely love. You have product market fit. First off, congrats, that's huge. But the next critical step is hiring the right people to not just manage, but actually grow that customer base you've worked so incredibly hard to build. And this is where founders hit a really critical fork in the road. You've got customers coming in the door, which is great, but how do you keep them happy, stop them from leaving, and find ways to get more revenue from them? It all boils down to this one massive question. Who was your first hire for this job? Is it an account manager, or is it a customer success manager? Now, look, in a small company, these roles can definitely overlap, right? But their primary goals, they're totally distinct. Your account managers, the AMs, they are your revenue drivers. Their whole world is about upselling, cross-selling, and getting those contracts renewed. Your customer success managers, the CSMs, well, they're your retention specialists. They are laser-focused on making sure clients get every last drop of value out of your product.
And you've got to be smart about when you hire these roles. The timing is absolutely strategic. Before you have product market fit, the founders should be in the trenches, handling every customer interaction, soaking up all that raw feedback. But once you hit that growth stage, the playbook is crystal clear. Hire customer success managers first. You have to secure your foundation by making every single new customer a success story. Then, once you start to scale, you bring in the account managers to build on that solid base and really drive that expansion revenue. All right, so you know who to hire, but how are you going to pay these crucial people? In a world where cash is almost always tight, startups need a different kind of weapon to compete for the best talent. The answer? Equity. It is literally the currency of the startup ecosystem. And here's the thing you have to get about equity. It is so much more than just a replacement for a fat paycheck. It's really a cultural tool. It turns your employees into owners, it aligns everyone's interests, and it makes everyone feel like they're in the same boat, rowing in the same direction. It's how you recruit and keep those rock stars who are going to build the business with you. So if you're going to use equity, you and your team need to understand how it actually works. This timeline breaks down the whole life of a stock option, and it's actually pretty simple. It starts with the grant. That's the promise. Then you hit the cliff, usually after a year where you get your first chunk. After that, you're vesting over time, earning more. Then comes the exercise. That's when you actually buy the shares. And finally, the sale. That whole flow is critical for everyone to understand.
Right. So that is the big question, isn't it? The multi-million-dollar question. How much do you actually give away? Now, in the super early days, it's kind of more art than science. But as you grow and you start raising money, you absolutely need a structured, data-backed approach to keep things fair and transparent.
Okay, this table is an awesome guide for when you're a bit more mature, let's say post-Series B. It shows how you can calculate equity grants as a multiple of someone's salary. So let's break it down. A manager who's making, say, 80 grand a year, well, their equity grant might be worth somewhere between $24,000 and $56,000. See how that works? It gives you a real data-driven and defensible way to structure your offers fairly.
Okay, team's in place. They're incentivized with a solid equity plan. Everyone's ready to go. Now let's talk execution. What are the specific skills that separate just an average account manager from a true, top-performing growth driver? So some great research from Rain Group breaks this down. They say there are two skills that are just the price of entry. You have to be a technical expert, know your product inside and out, and you have to be a relationship lead who can build real connections. These are the absolute basics. They get you in the game, but they do not guarantee you'll win.
So, you want to know what separates the good from the great? It's these difference maker skills right here. The best of the best are also disciplined project managers. They're innovators bringing fresh ideas to the table, and they're proactive results drivers. They don't wait for things to happen, they make them happen. These are the skills that win the game. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data here is crystal clear. Top performing teams are more than twice as likely, 2.2 times, to work side by side with their clients to create value in new ways. So being proactive and innovative, these aren't just buzzwords. They have a direct, measurable impact on the bottom line.
All right, last section, because even if you have the absolute best people with all the right skills, scaling is, well, it's hard. It comes with its own set of roadblocks that can completely derail your progress if you're not ready for them.
As you start to grow, trust me, you are gonna feel these growing pains. Things like your account managers and your product team not being on the same page, or getting totally buried under a mountain of urgent but unplanned client requests, or losing a key contact to a competitor. These are the classic challenges of success. So, what's the solution? How do you get past all that? The key is to shift your entire mindset. You have to stop playing firefighter, constantly reacting to problems, and start playing architect. You need a proactive strategy built on open communication across all your departments, with everyone sharing one unified goal, making customers happy. It's all about teamwork. And really, it all comes down to this one final, powerful question that every founder needs to ask themselves. Are your people, your incentives, and your company's mission all telling the exact same story? Because true, sustainable growth, it only happens when those three things are perfectly in sync. When you get that right, well, that's when you don't just build a company, you build a legacy.